You know what's funny is that secretly I'm going to start training SOTS press. I'm not going to tell him.
You just can't.
I'm not going to tell him. And like he's going to be like, oh, I didn't quite get the
Secretly,
100.
I'm going to start training my deadlift, and I'm going to get 300 before you
Yeah,
do.
right. You just say what it is?
Yes.
Yeah. They're going to draw us in cartoon form.
I think you should show just the picture.
I'll show the picture right now.
Yeah.
Picture. It is an iconic picture of Arnold Schwarzenegger and Franco Columbu doing a pose. And so we're going to redo this pose, and they're going to then, as us, make it cartoon versions of us, and we'll have the big flex written there, and then a little space in the corner for like the episode number.
Training at altitude when you're actually up several 100,000 feet, or however,
Several hundred thousand
feet, or several thousand feet. Let's say 100,000 feet is a bit much. Several thousand feet.
When you're training in space with Elon Musk,
the concentration of oxygen in the air is less. I like to always start it off with one of these.
we can do.
We're back again.
Wait. Welcome back to the big flex, everybody.
To the big flex. Back again after a long while, quite a bit of a break.
Yeah, about a month again. Sorry, guys.
Yeah.
I know, just always busy with things. We are going to try to be more consistent. We're going to talk about some filming coming up later on in the episode. But before we do, subscribe. Hit it. Actually, let me just tell you something I'm a little disappointed about, is that we put up quality content, a good chunk of it, and like 2 months ago, we only got like 4 or 5, maybe like 6 new subscribers.
We're pushing hard.
We're pushing hard. And then we put up nothing last month and got 14 new subscribers.
Yeah.
How dare you?
It's that one.
Yeah.
How dare you?
Yeah.
But it's the algorithm.
Speak into your mic.
The algorithm.
Yeah.
You know the algorithm. We had a couple of our videos that were posted a very long time ago, like the scat pull-up one.
Yep.
Like 2,000 views, which was one of the first ones that we did, I think, right?
Yeah, well, it's been up for 8 or 9 months. And for the first, let's say it's been up 8 months, the first 7 months did 800 views. And then the last 28 days it's done 1,200 views.
Yeah.
So it just, for some reason, it's getting a bit of heat. It gets put into different, like people's recommended box. So we get more things. It's just good. And actually getting people commenting from in the US and different parts of the world. And it's not just troll comments all the time, which is good.
It's actual legitimate comments.
It's actually legitimate comments and questions, which we can answer, which is a bit of fun. Yeah.
So I think it's just going to be like that for a while.
Yeah.
Well, just as we post more videos, bit by bit, like every now and again, one will get featured, and we'll just get a slightly.
And I have heard,
audience.
I have heard that the more content your channel puts up over time, you naturally start to get more followers coming in, subscribers coming in a little bit quicker, just because you are bumped up the rank a little bit in like the YouTube search algorithms and everything like that. But also subscribe, because when I go to analytics, and this is the number 2 thing that makes me upset, is that when we go to analytics, from the people that watch our videos, only like 34% are subscribed, which means 65% of you.
You're just watching for free.
You watch for free anyway, but you're watching without, hey, make the commitment, all right? Just go on.
At the very least,
just smash that subscribe button.
Support your local businesses. Come on, guys. It's very important. And
That's
right.
right.
All of this COVID stuff, everyone needs all the help they can get.
That's right.
Support your local businesses. Like and subscribe. And subscribe.
You'll notice that that Thunder Guns here is socially distancing with his mask.
And he's wearing a mask. And we are not. However,
the gym is closed. All right? Like right now, our PDs are all done. Gym is closed. And we live together as well. So
we are family. Nevin is my father. I'm his young son. But we live together. We live in the same. We're in
the same house.
It's legal. It's allowed.
That's right. We are housemates, so it's all gravy. But yeah, that's what I wanted to just touch on first was subscribe if you haven't already, and it's good to be back. And it's we're looking forward to hearing all of your various non-trolley questions.
Non-trolling questions, actual legitimate questions, which
Beautiful.
is always fun to answer.
Yeah.
So what are we talking about today? What are we flexing on this week?
The first thing we're flexing on is a bit of a change coming up to the GPC States competition that you'll remember we were talking about, and a bunch of people trying to enter this coming May.
Yes, that recently had a bit of a, just because of COVID, that COVID week that we had and the lockdowns and everything kind of changed and then kind of changed back, and it's different now.
Yeah, so basically what's happened is Ruchi's Gym, Dan and Paul who run Ruchi's Gym, they run the GPC States here, or they run all the GPC competitions here in WA. And they decided with about a week before registrations that it's going to be done a little bit differently, because the competitions that they've been hosting have been getting more and more popular, which is a great thing, all right, because powerlifting is a niche sport and it's slowly becoming more popular here in WA, which is fantastic. I believe they originally were going to run, 4 comps a year, and most of them were going to be single day comps, and they all had so much positive, attraction, a big pool, they ended up turning them all into 2-day, super comps, 120 competitors. So that was just sort of telling them, look, we've got enough people that want to do it, but really we want the best people competing at states. And if there's only going to be 120 lifters, we don't want people to miss out. So what they did a little differently this year, albeit not with much notice, guys, was they made it first round an invite-only round for registrations, which, let's just say up front, I've got nothing against. I think that's actually a good thing. I think that state-level competitions you should have to qualify for, right?
Absolutely.
So basically what they said was they're going to contact, I think it was the top 50 lifters from a bunch of different weight classes for people that have competed in GPC sanctioned comps within the last 12 months. Yeah. And they get the first round of invites, first 50 invites.
Just to make sure that
that those top guys, if they want to compete, they can, which I think is good. So that runs out, they get 1 week to register those invites. That runs out on Tuesday next week. And then it opens up to everyone else. So I think there should be around 70 spaces left. So hopefully we still all can grab a spot. It's just a few less tickets will be going up for grabs. That's all.
Yep.
But the plan doesn't change now. We know it's going to be the same day. They're actually thinking about having to move it 2 weeks earlier because of some nationals qualifying issues. But it's going to be the same date, the first weekend of May, 1st and 2nd. And we are going to try to grab tickets for, I think there's about 7 or 8 people here that are keen to try to jump in.
Yeah.
So we're really going to hope that we get as many of those people in as we can.
Yeah, and everything's on track as if nothing changed. COVID, for me and my clients, just very luckily happened to fall on a deload week. So everyone's still training just like that comp is going ahead. And hopefully everyone does get into the comp. But even if they don't, we decided that because there are limited tickets now and maybe everyone won't get in, we're changing things up here a little bit. And in conjunction with when that comp would be, we're also doing the first of the record breaker events here at the gym, which Nev's talked about before.
Yes, and I'll talk about that right again now. So basically the record breaker day here at the Strength Institute, and we might change its name, we'll get a flashy name for it, but basically for those of you that don't want to compete or are nervous about competing, you don't have to go to a sanctioned comp. We're going to set aside a Saturday, all-day Saturday. It's going to be the last weekend of May, tentatively. I'm going to hold that date, but I will confirm it soon. The last weekend of May, which means that people that are training for states, if they miss out, they can still do this in a couple of weeks after that.
Although people who are competing in states, these numbers also count in sanctioned comps. So, like competing in states, if they pull all PBs,
oh yeah, 100%.
Those numbers are able to go up.
Yes,
on the board
yes,
as well.
yeah, 100%, because they have proper referees and everything like that. It's all done
if
to
you
standard.
don't go to states, our own separate record breaker event is for those people who either miss out or don't necessarily want to do states, but still want to put some numbers up on the board.
Correct. And what we're going to do is, just like at a sanctioned GPC meet, we're going to have a 24-hour weigh-in, which means you can come to the gym anytime from Friday morning all the way through to Saturday morning. Weigh in here on the scales of the gym so we know what your weight is. Doesn't have to be on the morning if you don't want to. And then the next day, all day Saturday, we're going to block out. We're going to be here, and you can go for any and all of your lifts to try to get up onto the board there, which is pretty exciting. So we'll get some people refereeing, and that will be good, I think.
Yeah, I think it'll be fun to create a little bit of healthy competition in the gym as well, because those numbers kind of just go up there when people do them. But now you can't just do a lift during a session or just cause and get a number up there. You have to wait until these events, and then we'll do it as officially as possible. So it gives people a reason to kind of train for a certain date coming up, and you can treat it like every 6 months like a states comp, but just here contained within the gym. It's gonna create a nice amount of competition and rivalry. I think that it'll motivate people a lot more.
Absolutely. Yeah. No, I think it's gonna be really good. Yeah. People calling out people already, so that's gonna be fun.
They are? Who's calling out who?
Well, mate, people are saying, well, first of all, because I went down from the 110s to the 100s.
Yeah.
All right. And then you went up from 75s to 82.5s.
Yeah.
And some people weren't happy about that. I'm not going to say any names. All right.
Okay. Yeah,
okay.
That's fair.
And then there's other people that are keen. Tito's still keen to drop down and knock off all the original 67.5 kilo weight class guys. So there's a little bit of heat in the room.
It's just a bit of a throwback to that as well. Tito is still fat. Just
still
in case
fat. He got fatter.
Wondering.
He got fatter over Christmas, which is I don't blame him.
He did.
I'm just pointing out facts.
He's right back where he started.
Tito, yes.
It's annoying me because he's put on so much weight and lost so much weight that he could just already have been at the weight. It's not even that hard.
He's so strong. He's only a couple kilos off.
I know. It's frustrating me. I know. You hear that, Tito?
You can't tame those Venezuelans. They're free hearts, mate. They're free hearts.
They're wild.
That's wild.
Wild.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Anyways, I plan on doing states at 82.5.
Yeah.
And then I don't know. I kind of just feel good being a bit bigger and being a bit stronger. So I have kind of a loose plan for the end of this year. One time in my life, I tried very hard to get up to 90 kilos, and I didn't quite crack it. Right, it's my biggest regret to date so far. I got up to 88. It was like 88.9, and I couldn't crack that last kilo. It was a lot though. I was wide. So if all goes well and my numbers are improving and everything just feels good after States, I think I might just go for it this year.
You're going to try to get to 90 kilos?
I'm going to try. I've tried once before and I got close, but I wasn't half as strong as I am now.
You would look so odd at 90 kilos.
Since training here, this is the strongest I've ever been. Right. I know. I just stay this height and just literally go sideways.
Good quality Strength Institute programming right there.
Damn right. But it's kind of exciting to see if I did push it to that 90 again with that much weight on me, how much stronger I could be. So I'm still trying to do it as lean as possible. I'm not doing like a big fat dirty bulk. Like we redid my measurements the other day and I went from, was that like 5 to 6% last time?
Like 6%,
now I'm like
now 8 a bit.
8 and a bit. So like 8 to 10%-ish, give or take visceral fat and whatnot. So I'm going to try and stay around the 10% mark and not go any higher than that. And we'll see. If I'm feeling good and everything's feeling great, I might try and do it this year. See if I can get to that 90 kilo mark.
Okay. Well, I'm hanging out at the 100 kilo weight class, so I'm just sub 100, and I'm just staying there. I was thinking about like maybe because it's like a longer run up, I can slowly cut down to 90. I don't want to. I actually prefer eating more food and lifting a bit heavier, and my training is going really well at the moment. Yeah. Do you want to talk about training a little bit?
Yeah, we'll go for it.
So, little update. We both started on volume for the last month. Yeah. You are now moving to general strength to really prep up for States. Although I want to lift heavy at States, I really needed more volume. So I'm keeping volume for another 2 months. I am going to have strength elements in there. It's not just straight volume, but I'm keeping in volume for all my big lifts because I think in 1 month, I've already noticed a huge amount of benefits from it. I just wasn't doing it enough. And I was strong for the muscle that I had, but I needed to build more muscle. And I feel like now the extra food, the extra volume, things are starting to fill out. Like the pain is dissipating in my shoulder and like everything's just working better. And my numbers are going up really nicely. So I'm just going to ride this train out for a bit longer.
Volume all the way through to your peaking phase before the top?
Just volume for 6 months and then like 5 days peaking. No,
you're mad, man.
I will have a bit of a longer peak than that, of course. But like I said, I'm going to have strength elements in the training and certain rep ranges and certain like, exercises like banded exercise and overloading exercises. But for the most part, it is still going to be a volume-based program.
See, I feel exactly the opposite. I got a bit out of volume because I wasn't training upper body for such a long time. Doing that month of volume, upper body improvements are great and everything's starting to feel a lot better now. But by the end of the volume block, I was just broken. The last 2 weeks have not been very fun and I'm only just now starting to feel normal again. Don't know what it was. Maybe a bit of eating crap over Christmas and then like the getting back into it and then that bit of a break over COVID, just kind of sitting on my butt a bit. Just not enjoying it at all. It slowed me down quite a bit. My triples, all my triples, my singles, triples were going up for those one heavy triple before all of our volume. Was improving really well, actually. And then I hit a bit of a wall. But all of the volume just broke me.
Yeah.
Broke me physically and mentally. My soul hurts. Everything hurts. I was not having a good time. This week, everything moving into general strength feels fantastic.
Right.
I feel the exact opposite. Last time we did this general strength block, I got so much out of it. And the volume feels just as hard as it was last time. I just feel like I didn't get that many gains out of it. Like my volume wasn't increasing as much as it was during the general strength phase. I'm just built for lower reps.
Right. Well, yeah, I'm the opposite. I feel like my volume is helping like huge amounts, which is great. And like I said, I'm just going to keep going out. Like my sets of 8s and 10s now are sort of what I was doing for 6s not long ago. So if I can carry on with that trend when I go back to 6s, 4s, 3s, 2s, 1s, like I'm really excited to see what sort of numbers I can be pulling and pushing. But yeah, like I'm keeping the volume, keeping it up. My glutes and lower back were just for like 1 week. They were like, you just hang on 1 second now, because I was doing everything beltless. And if you want, I'm gonna link it right here. In the top corner of the video is a little thing where basically you can click it and it'll take you to the Strength Quest Road to 100, Strength Quest Deadlifts Road to 300 kilos, where I talked about for the whole first month, I didn't wear a weights belt anymore. I did for my heavy set of 3 only, and then everything else was beltless. And it felt good for the first 2 weeks when my volume was lighter, but then as I was picking the weights up heavier, it just really couldn't quite keep up. And by week 4, like glutes and back were feeling pretty trash. Like not in an injured way, just like they weren't recovering enough.
Really worked. Yeah, I did the same thing. And then I like to test a lot of stuff out on my clients as well, put them through similar things. I like to make my clients do the same stuff or do the same stuff that my clients are doing as well. So everyone trained beltless for that whole month and did the same thing. It was really hard. Usually you feel like as you get stronger, you can recover and you get stronger and you recover, you get stronger. I felt like it was almost just like eventually hitting a wall. By the end of that volume block, I was absolutely cooked. That was really rough on my body.
Yeah.
Squats in particular, squatting as heavy as you can without a weight belt after using a belt for so long. And I think that's the kicker. After using a weight belt for like every single session for such a long time leading up to the squat challenge, moving away from it was really, really challenging.
I think it was good. Like I think it was a good eye opener.
Yeah.
And I am going to keep some beltless stuff in my program, and I'm going to talk about this more in depth in my Strength Quest deadlift video. The second episode I'm filming today. I've been accumulating film. I'm going to film the narration part today, and I'll have that up, if not this weekend, then next week. And I'm going to go into a bit more depth there. Like I am keeping beltless work in, but it's not going to be everything, that's for sure.
And I've noticed that trend as well with all my clients going beltless and then to use belts again and all their extra equipment and stuff this week. Everyone has improved on their previous, like moving into their general strength program.
Yes.
Everyone's improved what they were doing previously through this general strength phase. So you get, I think, a lot out of not using a belt. I personally just really, really, really don't like it, and it's awful, but you should definitely do it.
It's not as awful as having to wear a mask for like big volume sets of squats and deadlifts. Like it's pretty
terrible.
brutal, and you're like just sucking in your mask down your throat.
Yeah.
It's not fun.
I started getting a stitch yesterday. I didn't think that was possible.
I mean, you're terribly unfit, so I don't,
Hey,
you know.
I resent that. I started getting a stitch just with how hard I was breathing by the end of the session.
Yeah.
It was, it's not fun.
Yeah.
Really can't wait for this mask thing to be done with.
Hopefully this Sunday morning at 12:01 a.m. We will
Very
see.
hopefully.
I mean, we've had no new cases in the last 10 days, whatever it was, or 12 days, or however long the original guy got sick. So
I think
fingers
it's gonna
crossed.
have been 14 or 16 days, I think, by...
Yeah, whatever it is, no one's gotten sick.
14
So
days
we
by
really
Sunday.
should be allowed to not wear masks anymore, seeing that no one is sick.
Here's to hoping.
Here's to hoping.
These masks are gone.
That's right. But we had got some questions about apps. People were like, it's so hard doing all this volume and heavy reps and training in a mask. And they said, is it the same as altitude training? And I said, no, it's not the same as altitude training. And would you like to take this away, Adrian? Why is it not the same as... Hang on, let me ask. Adrian, I was wearing this mask and it was really hard to breathe. Am I like doing altitude training right now?
Are you in a mountain range?
No.
Then no. It's
Well, why not? Explain, please.
So the main difference between wearing a mask and training at altitude is that when you wear a mask, you put a mask on your face and it just makes the muscles in your chest and diaphragm and lungs, everything work harder to actually breathe.
You're
right?
just sucking in less volume of air in general.
Yeah, the muscles need to work harder to get the air in and out, and that's what wearing a mask is. So it's more of a muscular thing, right? Then training at altitude, when you're actually up several 100,000 feet, or however,
Several hundred thousand
feet, or several thousand feet. Let's say 100,000 feet is a bit much. Several thousand feet.
When you're training in space with Elon Musk,
the concentration of oxygen in the air is less.
Yeah, you have less
you're-
percentage of oxygen.
You're breathing the same amount of volume or whatever into your lungs. You're not struggling to breathe that in, but the actual concentration of oxygen is different.
well, I mean, when you breathe in air, you have a certain percentage of oxygen. It goes into your lungs, goes into your bloodstream. It oxygenates your blood. It gets to your muscles. It allows you to work out. All right.
Do you remember the percentages?
Mate, don't you string this up? 24? Is it 24?
Let's have a look.
24
I'll
something.
pull it
He's
up.
going to pull it up. I don't know. Basically, yeah. But you're breathing in down here, whether you're wearing a mask or not, the same percentage of oxygen. So you're not changing anything physiologically. You're just making your muscles and your lungs work harder to actually suck it in. When you're up at altitude,
21%.
21%?
The air in Earth's atmosphere is made up of approximately 78% nitrogen and 21% oxygen.
There you go. That was pretty close.
Small
So I said
amounts of
24
lots
to
of other
21.
gas. Yeah.
But when you're, let's say, on the side of a mountain or several thousand feet up, you have less percentage of oxygen. So even though you're getting the same volume of air into your lungs, you have less oxygen. So your blood is less oxygenated, my goodness. And by the time it gets to your muscles, they're not absorbing as much as well. So that's the difference. So no, wearing a mask, yes, is harder. It is not altitude training.
I've just put up a chart,
Yeah.
an oxygen chart at altitude. So at different feet, at 1,000 feet, the effective oxygen percent is at 20.1. At 0, it's 20.9. And then as you go to 2,000, it's 19.4. 3,000 is 18.6. 4,000 is 17.9. So the percentage of oxygen in the air reduces as you go higher.
Yeah.
And then there are dangerous ranges.
Well, what's a danger range? Something. Danger zone.
Something. So when you start to get around the 13,000
Right. So this is,
12.7.
I think basically there's a point on Mount Everest, they call it the death zone, right? If you stay above it, then you're not getting enough oxygen and you will eventually die.
Oh, there's examples here as well. So altitude categories, low is considered to be 1 and 2,000. Medium is up to 6,000. High is up to 12,000. So that's around Aspen. Very high is Pikes Peak. That's around 13,000. 16,000 is Mount Blanc. Kilimanjaro is 19,000 feet. And then Everest Ultra, 29,000 feet. So those are all considered ultra. Extreme, though, is between 18 and 25,000. And that's Kilimanjaro, Denali. I don't actually know what that is.
It's actually nothing we have to be concerned about here in sunny old Perth, Western Australia, where we are at ocean level.
So unless you're training at
In Kilimanjaro.
29,000 feet.
Well, that's the top of Mount Everest, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. No one here has to worry about that.
Yeah, anyways, so that's interesting. But at 0%, zero at like ground level, it's just the standard amount of oxygen in the air, 20.9.
That's right. Yeah. Perfect. Now, I touched on briefly the Strength Quest series, which was a name that I had in mind for ages, like Strength Quest. It sounds kind of cool. I don't know what to do with it. And I decided to go, what I'll do is we'll do a Strength Quest series, and then I'll pick an exercise. So mine is Strength Quest deadlifts, the road to 300 kilos, being a long-term goal of mine to hit 300 kilos. I plan on doing that this year. I've done one video last month. I'm doing one. I'm going to try to do them fortnightly moving forward. But at bare bones, you're going to get one a month. Adrian, I said, get on board with this. I want to do a different playlist, a Strength Quest playlist with you. What exercise do you want to do? And he says,
I want to do a SOTS press.
And what's a SOTS press, Adrian?
A SOTS press it's got another name, press in clean or clean in press. Basically, it's squat position. You squat down, stay in your squat position, and then press the bar up above your head. SOTS press.
And then back down, and then stand up. You have to do all the things? Do you have to do the whole thing?
So I think it's just the press.
Okay.
Because it's, in that squat position.
And what weight do you want to try to SOTS press?
I want to try 100 kilo SOTS press.
And what is the most weight you've SOTS pressed before?
Well, fun story. As you all know, Nev and I like to talk a lot of trash to each other. I like the SOTS press in general. It's a very, very demanding move. You need to be very mobile through your ankles, hips, knees, back, shoulders, everything to be able to do this with a little bit of weight even. And so I've been training a lot of my clients over the last couple of months specifically to get that move. And so one of my clients I was just previously doing before we had our little tiff here and our trash talking session that led to this occurrence. He just recently gotten sets of 5 with a 15 kilo bar. Cam Allardyce was absolutely crushing it. It's awesome, by the way.
Stuff, Cam.
Like really good progress with his SOTS press. But I haphazardly talked just a little too much trash to Nev and was like, you couldn't even do that if you tried. What are you talking about? I've never seen you do it once. There's no way that you could do it.
Obviously. I had never done it once before either.
Yeah.
0 times.
But as he unfortunately likes to say, he's an athlete. So we had an impromptu SOTS off. While after Cam's session, he just sat back and watched. And then Nev and I, we essentially just measured our
Can we just say, to
dicks
start, I asked,
with SOTS press.
I asked Adrian, I said, what's the most you've SOTS pressed after he was talking trash about me not being able
And
to
it was
SOTS
like
press?
30, I think 35
He
or
said
40
30.
kilos
He
or
said,
something
he
like
said,
that was the max.
he
Most
said
I've ever tried
it was
before.
30 something. I said, if you can do 30 something, I can do 40. And I've never done it before. And I stand by it. And so he goes, no, you couldn't. So after training, I warmed up and I did 40. It was very comfortable.
So we warmed up and I did 40 and then he did 40. And then we went up 5 kilos a set from there. And we just kept going and going and going with 40, 45,
But
50.
we then at some point got out of sync where we
So
started
we
going
went
up
five
by,
first,
we started
and
going
at
up by
50, we started going with 2.5. So
Right.
I did 50, you did 52.5, then 60, then 62.5,
well,
then
57 and a half. See,
That's,
whatever it was.
that's what I mean.
We kept creeping up by 2.5 kilo increments. And we went all the way up to 60. Which one did I get?
I got the one above you because I won.
No, you didn't win. Which one did you? What weight did you get?
Absolutely
Was
won.
it 65? Is that what you got? Yeah. So I did 62 and a half. And then Adrian went for 65. And then it was a foregone conclusion that I could also get 65. So I want to go for 67 and a half. And I missed a 67 and a half. He didn't try because he knew he couldn't get it as well.
No.
So basically it's a draw.
I got it after.
No, you
I
did 65.
did the 65,
No.
and then I did the 67.5.
False.
I
We
did.
were alternating. We were going one above each other each time.
So hold on. So what you're saying is I got 65 and you didn't get?
Oh, no, I didn't get 67.5.
Yeah, you didn't get 65 either.
I didn't try it. Easy.
Yeah, no, you didn't try it. It's easy.
Easy.
It's easy. So what you've SOTS pressed as of today and what I've SOTS pressed as of today,
Don't make me
that
warm up.
competition that we had would mean that I won that competition.
Don't make me
I know
warm
it's
up right
hard
now
for you
and
to
go and do
admit
it.
every now and again that you did
No.
lose at something.
Well, I didn't
but
lose because we didn't do the same weight. But regardless, people, regardless, you're going to go for 100 kilo SOTS
I'm
press.
going to go for 100 kilo SOTS press. So that's after not even really having trained it. That impromptu session, I managed to get a 65 kilo SOTS press,
Yep.
which is pretty cool. And since then, I've been putting it into all of my programming and training for it pretty consistently 2 to 3 times a week with a lot of other accessory work specifically for it. And so I've managed to get it up to, I got my overhead squat up to, trying to train that position, up to 70 kilos, which was tough as well. And now for volume, I'm getting around the 50, 55 kilo mark for SOTS. So my single is going to be a lot higher than it is already. And it was a bit tricky getting started. It was just a bit uncomfortable and pretty rough on my shoulders. But now the more I'm doing it, the more comfortable I'm feeling. I'm starting to feel more and more confident that I will get that 100. And we never put any cap on my weight limit. So as I go up in weight, it's obviously going to get easier. So I'm really looking forward to that. And I hadn't trained upper body for 6 months leading up to this squat challenge. So now that I can train upper body and put some more size on my chest and shoulders, it's definitely going to help as well. So without having really trained upper body, just being able to bang out a 65 out of nowhere, which was kind of fun. Now I'm hoping that all this extra training and conditioning for it is going to get me there. So I'm really excited to see if I can pull it off.
Yeah, I'm excited to see if you can get 100 kilo SOTS press because that's damn heavy. It's a heavy overhead to start with.
Yeah.
It's a really heavy behind the head overhead.
Yeah.
Overhead press, and it's especially because it's strict. There's no leg drive, and you're in the bottom of a squat. So there's heaps of balance and stability required. So I look forward to seeing you get it.
Me too. It's exciting.
And you're going to start filming your SOTS press videos when?
Well, I mean, I guess this is the big introduction to it, right? So
Yes.
Tomorrow,
Good. Because I want to film that and get it up on the YouTube channel.
Yeah, and we'll start doing it tomorrow, and we'll do, I guess, like alternating sort of fortnightly or that sort of thing.
That would be good. Then people can see once a week either one of us doing something.
Yeah, that excites me with how difficult it is. That motivates me. The more people are like, that's crazy. You can't do that. It makes me want to do it more. And so I like that it's such a difficult move with so much weight as well. I'm going to get there. It's making me tingle.
All right, good.
I'm going to get it. And then you can definitely say that there's not a chance in hell you could get 100 kilo SOTS press.
You know what's funny is that secretly I'm going to start training SOTS press. I'm not going to tell him.
You just can't help
I'm not going to tell him. And like he's going to be like, oh, I didn't quite get the 100.
I'm going to start training my deadlift and I'm going to get 300 before you do.
Right.
Break your ego.
If you get 300 kilo deadlift before me, I don't know what. I would just retire from life. I don't know.
Can I just have the gym? Like if I get to 300 before you, does that mean that I just own this gym?
No, it doesn't.
Is that how that works?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. But yeah, we're going to try to get that content out to you guys. We actually made a schedule. We're going to get back onto filming our tutorials because we're saying before, like it's those tutorials that are actually getting spit out and put into these recommended videos. Like we're getting a couple thousand views on some, like 600-700 views on others. So I think that's good. It's good for our clients to see them in the True Coach app, and there's a bunch that we haven't done yet. And it's good. It puts extra content out on YouTube for us, and it's good quality content. You get to see good exercises perform correctly. So
beautiful faces.
Get to see that as well. Chisel, draw lines, and whatnot.
Doing all of these exercises that you know and love.
So so stay tuned. There's going to be more tutorials coming out. We're sorry if you've hit the bell notification, you're going to get blasts of like 5 emails at a time. But apart from that, you'll be still getting your podcast. Oh, speaking about the podcast. Some fun, exciting new things that are coming.
Yes.
So basically, and I apologize if you're a graphic designer out there and you charge a couple $100 an hour because I straight bypassed you and went to Fiverr because I don't have $300 to spend on a logo. So Fiverr, guys, is a website. And I'm not even getting paid by them to say this because we only have 58 listeners.
Shout out to Fiverr.
Shout out to Fiverr. If you want to sponsor this podcast, do it. Basically, it's a website, Fiverr or Fivrr. Google that one.
Let's double check.
Double check that. And basically, it's a website that you can put up. It started off as, what would you do for $5? And it was like, I'll draw you, any sort of picture, 2D color for $5. If you want it in extra, this and that, or a couple of renditions, it'll be $10. Blah blah blah. Yep.
Fiverr.
There you go, .com. And basically, there's a whole list of things now. So you can go to graphic design, videos, music, anything you want. And then you have different levels of things that you can pay for. So basically, I was looking at a few graphic designers today, and one of the things is, podcast-like thumbnails. I was like, perfect. That's exactly what I want. We're going to get a nice podcast thumbnail for the Big Flex done up. And like the one that I'm looking at is pretty cheap. It's like $38, all right? For $38, they're going to draw... you just say what it is?
Yes.
Yeah. They're going to draw us in cartoon form.
I think you should show just the picture.
I'll show the picture right now.
Yeah.
Picture. It is an iconic picture of Arnold Schwarzenegger and Franco Columbu doing a pose. And Arnie's standing and Franco's in the low position. And so we're going to redo this pose. And they're going to then, as us, make it cartoon versions of us, and we'll have the Big Flex written there, and then a little space in the corner for like the episode number. So
I did have a question about that actually.
Yeah.
Why is that iconic? Is it just because it's those two doing that pose and they repeated it, or
yeah,
what?
they're just legends. It's just like, I don't know, like if you're a bodybuilder, you sort of know that pose that those two did. It was in Pumping Iron, which is like, you know, the thing that really got bodybuilding.
On the map,
It was in there, and then they used to do it regularly. So there's a lot of these photos on the website, on the internet of them doing this pose, and they're both just legends of the sport. And like, I don't know, it's like it's kind of cool. And like one's tall and one's shorter. It's like it's kind of perfect. Like we're you know, and
So I really like the idea. I think it's going to be kind of a fun revamp.
And I like the idea because it's going to make the thumbnail really, one, easier for me. I only have to change the number in the corner, but it'll be nice and like, uniform for all the podcasts. So we're doing that. Also, I am going to be creating a theme song myself.
Oh, yeah, we did talk about that.
I'm busting out my guitar, I'm busting out the keyboards, and getting old Logic Pro up. On the old Mac there.
So how am I going to help with that? I'm not as musically gifted as you are.
Yeah, so I think what we'll do is that I'll show you some of the sort of beats and tunes that I like and make sure we're on the same page. And then I'll just sort of create a little bit of a music bit. And
I'll
then,
do the vocals.
Well, we're both going to do little voiceovers in the background as part of it. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
I like that.
It's going to be pretty fun.
A new thumbnail for the Big Flex, and we're going to have a new intro for the Big Flex.
Yes.
What else are we going to get that's different for the Big Flex?
But those two things, don't expect them in the next week or two. Like it will take.
It's going to take a little while.
It'll take a little while. Like I'm busy, I haven't got enough time to like sit down and just like compose a song sort of thing. So it will take a few weeks or a month, but they will both happen in the next couple months, I would say.
Cool.
Yeah. Which I'm pretty excited about.
Some exciting things happening. And speaking of exciting things happening. We got some exciting things delivered to the gym the other day for some exciting changes that are going to be coming soon. So we've been talking about the changes that we're going to have been making, and that's essentially the conversations have gone like this: the things are coming, and this thing is going to go over here, and the thing we're trying to keep it all secret. And now some of these things are actually here, and it's very exciting to know that it's going to happen relatively soon as well. So some more cool changes coming to the gym.
We have to wait on one of my friends. You know, like when we're at home, and you're like, "Oh, Nick, can you help me hang this stuff?"
Yeah.
Because you've got some of the tools and everything,
yeah.
right? And so, like, you call me to come do that. Well, I have my guy that I call for like bigger things. He has bigger drills and more equipment that can help me with the big things. So
just have to wait until he's.
I'm waiting for old mate Lodo to get ready. He's probably busy this weekend. It is Valentine's Day on Sunday. But hopefully that will go up. And they're not big equipment, guys. It's more like storage space solutions to get stuff off the floor, tidy up stuff, and create a bit more space on the gym floor to stretch and do exercises with. So.
Optimize the space.
Optimize the space of the gym.
Yeah, so I think that's just about everything that we were going to touch on today. Do you have anything else extra to add?
No, I'm ready to go do my deadlift session and then film it and start working on my next episode of Strength Quest Deadlifts, Road to 300.
All right. Well, I guess the biggest takeaway for today, if you remember nothing else, just remember that I did SOTS press more than Nevin, and I'm the champion so far of SOTS pressing. So
it's not a thing.
That's all. Thanks for watching, guys. Remember, for all of you who do watch but don't subscribe, don't do that. Watch and also subscribe.
Yeah,
please.
Subscribe.
Please and thank you.
Just do it.
All right.
Guys.
See you later.
Have a good one. Adios.
That's fun. It's been too long.